Josh Zimmerman, Brooke Hendricks, Grady Woodfin, Jodie Hewitt, Mary Herring, Nicholas Hernandez. Unifying concept, distributing your work. iMovie theme, film strip. Team 3.
A key part of distributing your work as a writer is selling your work. This is sometimes easier said than done, but don't let it get you down. There are some simple ways to make this process easier. When selling a book or other piece of writing, the more attention it gets, the better. Seems simple, right? But without putting in the necessary effort of taking it to events, talking about it online or in public, and trying to get it out into the public, this can be hard to accomplish. Of course, there are the ideas that might come to mind first of having a small event at a local bookstore, but as time goes on, many writers may have to start thinking outside the box a little more. Post about it online, get in touch with your audience. If you can build a fan base, they will most certainly see you through. Did you ever hear the phrase, "Don't judge a book by its cover"? In this case, that's exactly and literally what people will do. Many do it without realizing it, so it helps to have a nice looking cover to catch someone's eye who may be passing by. It might just cause them to pick up your book and take a look inside. The way that sentences flow could make or break a reader's experience with a book, story, or any writing really. It pulls them out of the piece of work and causes them to put it down and walk away in some form or another. So make sure the work is free of grammatical errors and is professionally edited. If you want a great way to get your work out there, try giving it away. It's not as crazy as it sounds. Lots of authors give away free samples of the first few pages of their books electronically, and a survey done in 2010 shows that authors did not see a decrease in book sales, nor did they say they thought this affected the sales of their books negatively in any way. This is because people will support what they like. You get an audience, you get the money and support you need because they will want more just as badly as you do. Remember, sometimes patience is the key. It might not happen all at once, but with time and effort, you can get your work to where you want it to be.
Every aspiring author dreams of being published. There's something satisfactory in seeing your own book on bookshelves all across the country, and having millions of people fall in love with your story and characters just like all the great writers of the past. But how can you get your book from your room to the hands of a prospective reader? Well, traditional publishing might be the way to go. Even though self-publishing has gained increasing popularity in recent years, traditional publishing has a few benefits too. For example, when you publish through a company, your book is guaranteed a spot on bookshelves. That means people will have instant access to it at Barnes & Noble or Books A Million, which gets it out there to people who might want to buy your book. Plus, publishing companies are stocked with a ton of different departments that help work on the cover of your book, the marketing of your book, and even employ editors who help you make the book the best it can be before it goes out into the world. A traditionally published book also gains the right of recognition. Being published by big companies like Random House or Simon & Schuster add a heap of prestige to an author's name, which is something that a self-published book cannot do. The publishing company also pays the writer up front, which means that the writer has something to live off of while they work on their next book. But getting that publishing deal is not easy. The writer needs to first garner interest in her book by sending out query letters, employing an agent, and going through a ton of drafts of their book before a final copy is made. All in all, though, traditional publishing has been around so long because it works for many authors, and if you want a way to get your writing out there, it's a good place to start.
Hi, my name is Grady Jane Woodfin. In this podcast, I'm going to talk about how social media can help you distribute your work. We all want that feeling of self-accomplishment, to see our script become a movie, or our rough draft to become a book, or even our paper to become an academic achievement. But let's face it, the world we live in is dominated by social media. Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, the list goes on. Social media is everywhere, all the time, constantly throwing information and propaganda in our face. Our society accepts this, so as writers, we should too. But social media can help us. Hear me out. With so much access to the internet these days, the world is literally at the palm of our fingertips, and some writers still sit in their dark rooms staring at their Word document, wondering why no one wants to read their script. Social media opens up a door for us in so many ways. If you have a Twitter account, for example, you can be following someone from London or Hong Kong or Melbourne. Let's say these people follow you back because they happen to think it's cool that you're a writer. Now you have people keeping track of your day-to-day activities through Twitter all around the world. How awesome is that? So we're going to make the assumption that if someone takes the time to follow you on a certain social media site, they are generally a fan or at least somewhat interested in what you do. Now, if you take a little time out of your day to interact with these followers/fans, they're going to become your supporter, which instantly means that when you're about to post your work, you could potentially have hundreds upon thousands of people just waiting to see what you post. Not everyone on your social media sites is going to buy your work, but it's a fantastic place to start when it comes to distributing your work. Also, never forget that with a simple hit of the share button, your work is now being broadcast not only to your own followers, but to the people who have shared you, their followers, and possibly even their followers. So social media is your friend. It can make you or break you in today's society. Good luck, and thanks for watching.
As writers, there is always a challenge that we must face: publishing and distribution. It's understood that a writer needs to look into copywriting and editing, but where do we go from there? Self-publishing is an option open to you. Today's technology allows for an overwhelming amount of self-publishing. With the internet at our fingertips, the possibility of exposure is limitless. With companies like Author House, Infinity Publishing, and Wattpad.com, delivering our work to people is easier than ever. In fact, it's so easy that our work will likely get lost among others. We don't just have to compete with beginners either. Already established authors are also turning to self-publishing to get their work out there. Competition is steep. What then, you ask, should we do as writers? The first step is to get educated. Writing isn't just about writing anymore. The sooner we learn what it takes to get our creation out there, the better off we'll be. Step 2 would be collaboration and networking. It's the obvious step. Writers that write fiction likely have no desire to write a press release or draw a cover. This is where collaboration comes in. Find others that are willing to do what you can't. Step 3, advertise. I'm talking self-marketing. With the online publisher world evolving to help writers, we need to do more than just open a website. Social media is great, but there are whole businesses designed to help a writer get published. Amazon and We Grow Media offer different ways to put our work out there. However, don't rely solely on the internet. If you can get out and about, walk a beat. Go to conventions or festivals. Offer business cards. Don't be shy. Advertise yourself as well as your story. Lastly, don't limit your medium. People often forget how far writing really branches. I'm not just talking about novels. This includes short stories, flash fictions, video games, short films, and the silver screen. Self-publishing is easier than ever. All it takes is hard work, imagination, and drive. Your dream is just a mouse click away.
Hello. Today I will be talking about literary agents and their part in distributing your work. Now, some people might ask, what is a literary agent? Well, a literary agent is someone who represents an author when it comes to the dealings in business with publishers and others promoting the author's work. Now, continuing from that, you might think, well, what do literary agents actually do? Literary agents take the work of the author and they send it out to publishing companies and editors that they know are in current need of writers and things to publish. And now you're probably wondering why it is that people actually need literary agents. I mean, when you think of a writer, you probably think of someone that just gets things published on their own. But the truth is that large-scale publishing companies only actually go through literary agents. So if you're trying to make it into the big time, literary agent is something that you're going to actually need. Now, when it actually comes to getting a literary agent, thanks to today's technology, you can just go on Google and look for them. But if you want to make it more personal, there are different ways, like going to a writing conference, for example. Literary agents like to hold presentations there. And you can probably find one actually near you. On top of that, you can also ask people within writing groups or published authors that you possibly know, because they most likely will have a literary agent. And these are some examples of literary agencies: Bond Literary Agency, Curtis Brown Ltd, and Serendipity. So all in all, literary agents can actually really help you when it comes to distributing your work, because they've been in the field for a long time, and they have connections. Thank you.